My name is Steve Langridge and I'm the catering manager here at Worthing Hospital. But I'm also responsible for food safety legislation across site for the whole of Western Sussex Hospitals Foundation Trust. Thank you for attending today. And the purpose of the seminar is to give you an idea of the journey that's been undertaken by our trust to be recognised as leading the way in food safety legislation. And hopefully our role within the Adur Worthing Food Partnership will be to help develop a food compliance centre to help local businesses meet local environmental health officer standards, particularly around the allergen compliance and training. Every food business uses, processes and sells food in different ways. However, the general issues and key principles remain the same, whatever the style of the operation you're working with. Those responsible for food safety need to identify and implement appropriate steps to ensure that food is safe to eat. The aim of any commercial enterprise is to make a profit. The success of the food business depends on many factors, but I believe being properly managed with a well-trained team of staff is of fundamental importance. All food businesses have a legal obligation to put in place and maintain a documented food safety management system. A food safety management system that demonstrates, verifies how they handle, produce, process, serve and sell food that is safe to eat. All food businesses using the right support that is available from environmental health, trading standards, food standards agency should be able to be compliant with legislation, with food safety and achieve a good food hygiene rating following inspection from the local authorities. It is not as daunting as it may seem. As I said at the start, I want to take you on a journey from then Worthing Southlands Hospital back in September 2007 to where Western Sussex Hospital Foundation Trust is today. Back in 2007, we were due to be served an improvement notice due to a lack of a suitable food safety management system. The environmental health report, which I have over there on the displays, contained 6 pages of recommendations and 14 days before notice was to be served. So the first thing we had to do was gain confidence from the environmental health officers that procedures were going to improve over a period of time. We put a business case together which we presented to the environmental health officers. This included spending the first 3-4 weeks of my time here introducing a food safety management system and trying to convince 50 staff who had never seen me before that things were about to change. And one of those staff, Sarah, is at the back there, so if you want to ask her any questions after, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to answer them. We also had to look at introducing meaningful audit sheets and documentation. And one of the first things that I introduced when I got here was a daily health register. Nice and simple, standard practice, I would have thought. A daily health register, similar to a fitness to work policy. There was one at both entrances. Every time a member of staff entered the kitchen before they were due to work, they signed a declaration to say that they were fit to work with food. First thing I had was from a member of staff. Well, I've been here 7 years, we've never done this before, we've never given anybody food poisoning before. Why do we need to do this? So it was about trying to train and educate the staff as well why the audit documentation was so important and how it would eventually benefit us as a department. It was also giving the staff confidence in what they were doing, showing them the importance of their role, building their self-confidence. Even if someone just washing the pots up, actually you're an important member of the team. You're just as important as what I am. Some would argue even more so because you're there working in it. I'll give you an example. Stores, our stores personnel. In September 2007, his role was to check the incoming goods, put the goods away, and rotate the stock. His role today is still the same, but the way that he does it has changed 100% because of certain things that we've brought into place. Working, liaising with the environmental health officers, building trust. Staff are then able to see some of the benefits when inspections come in. They're gradually getting better and better and better. That encourages the staff as well. Keeping staff up to date with the improvement and getting staff to embrace the new changes that we're about to implement. Always look at enhancing your system. Once we were where we wanted to be and the staff were seeing the benefits of our new system, we looked at introducing further robust measures. Being a hospital, obviously we're a large enterprise in terms of patients, visitors, staff. We have the at-risk group that we look after every single day. Therefore we have more potential for things to go wrong. So once we've done the basic, we looked at enhancing our system. And we still look, even today, enhancing still further. And other things we've introduced and invested in is staff training. All food handlers have level 2 food safety. All the chefs are trained in level 3 food safety. All of our team leaders are in level 3 food safety. Some of our team leaders have been trained in level 2 HACCP, which helps them to understand their food safety management system. Some of the staff have been trained in level 2 food allergen awareness and level 2 healthier foods and special diets. This helps in staff development. All the staff within the department know their role. They're all dedicated to it. And any time somebody comes from the environmental health to an inspection or anything like that, I'm more than happy to say hello, take a step back, and let the staff show them around, because in truth the staff have probably got a better idea than me of what they do on a day-to-day basis. We also have a dedicated HACCP team. So when we sit down and we look at changing some of our policies and our procedures, we talk about it before we implement it into our food safety management system. And I've actually got our food safety management system over there, so you can see maybe how complex it might be maybe to something that you are working with at the moment. We also introduced traceability and audits. We have an in-house traceability system where a product is given its own unique code and stays throughout its life cycle, throughout its time within our department. We also do a dummy traceability audit on a regular basis. We want to make sure that our traceability system is actually working if we need to use it. We do internal audits cross-site. When we first introduced them a few years ago, their scores were in about the mid-60s. Now most units are producing scores in the high 80s. We also set up a league table between each site, so it sets a bit of competition. It sometimes gives me grief because somebody wants to know why they've been scored a 1 and somebody else has been scored a 2, but it creates that healthy competition. It gives somebody that extra oomph, if you like, to make sure that their area is the best it can be. We've introduced data logging temperatures now as well, electronic temperature probes, data logger probes for specific areas. And basically it's like a little mini computer that you build in, it records the temperatures and you download the temperatures onto a spreadsheet. So for example, if you were to look at the data logger temperature for our stores, it would say the date the temperature was taken, the time the temperature was taken, who took the temperature, brakes, frozen, 3663, ambient, Nelia. It actually tells you the company that they've taken the temperature from as well. true verifying temperatures. Our swabbing that we do from hygiene chemicals, and there's lots of good information there on the table, and indeed we've got a representative from hygiene chemicals with us. That verifies that their cleaning procedures work. So quite often if I've been involved in audits before, I might go to a member of staff, you've got what deems to be a must-clean table there, look at your clean skip. How can we be 100% sure that it is clean? So having the swabbing done verifies that our cleaning schedules are working as well. And of course, we have new challenges. As legislation changes, so this brings new challenges. The latest being the Food Information Regulations of 2014. How are we going to be compliant? We had 129 recipes, over 200 products, patient feeding alone. We held a series of meetings cross-site with environmental health officers, trade and standards officers, proposing how we were going to implement this new legislation. Initially, it was an 18-month project, but if I'm honest, it's a project that continues every single day, as products can change on a daily basis. We also had a series of open seminars for nursing staff, for the trust staff, just to say that the new changes were coming into place, how their information would look at board level, and how they needed to be compliant. We produced a little allergen booklet that we got everybody to fill out, to sign, to say they read and they understood the new legislation. It then went to development, and set up a database to demonstrate that staff have been trained in it. That's not an accredited training, just a basic in-house something, and again there's a sample of that over on the side. So the Food Information Regulations of 2014. Recent surveys, over 18 months later, since the FIR was introduced, have shown 53% of care homes are struggling to implement allergen laws. 70% of takeaways are not providing the correct allergen information. 80% of takeaways do not appear to have a food safety management system in place to ensure that the information they were providing was accurate and was verified. And 90% of takeaways could not evidence a system when requested. It was found that takeaways that mainly served the fried chicken performed the worst, with none of the outlets that were surveyed being able to provide a record of major allergens in their dishes. And the surveys were taken by the Royal Society of Public Health. One of the actions being called for now to the Food Standards Agency is to link food hygiene rating scheme to the allergen management. So when they come now and they come and look around your premises and then we're giving your star, whichever star you achieve, they're now saying that really part of your allergen management system needs to be included in part of your ratings. The Food Standards Agency recently published a summary of food incidents that were handled between October and December 2015. Out of the 38 food notices, 26 were allergy alerts. And in fact, yesterday I actually received figures for the year from the Food Standards Agency, and incident by incident in 2015, allergens was number 2, with over 200 incidents recorded. And of course, you'll probably all be aware, only a couple of weeks ago someone was jailed for 6 years because they failed to declare peanuts in one of their dishes, and sadly somebody died. So as a trust, where are we now? We've got Gold Eat Out, Eat Well Awards. They've been awarded to all trust catering areas and outlets, which promotes, offers a wide healthy menu choice to both patients, staff and visitors. And again, there is some information on the table with regards to the Eat Out, Eat Well scheme. Traceability. Our traceability was praised by environmental health officers. Well done. I suspect that there are not many other businesses that could produce such a detailed report. Food Information Regulations 2014, we were praised by the trading standards and local authorities for our implementation. You have put impressive amounts of thought and efforts into your plans, which when implemented should ensure that the trust meets its legal obligation. Praise from the Food Standards Agency. I'm always encouraged when speaking to proactive professionals like yourself. They'll always have their eye on where improvements or changes can be made, even where there are already robust systems and controls in place. And our latest EHO report, I mentioned to you the one back in 2007, where there were 6 pages of recommendations. Our latest one, our Food Safety Management System Requirements Recommendations, none. I've got a copy of the report over there. Food Hygiene Safety Requirements Recommendations, none. We're very proud of what we've achieved over the years, and it is a real team effort, and I include everybody in the team. The praise from the local authorities gives everybody that extra satisfaction. That satisfaction that, oh Steve, stop telling me to keep filling in this sheet, but there's a reason for it, and the praise when it comes from the local authorities is the highest praise you can possibly get. We also benefit from national groups. CIEH, the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health. TIFSIP, the Institute of Food Safety, Integration and Protection. Food Standards Agency and Public Health England. So just to sum up, complying with legislation doesn't necessarily need a lot of time, depending on your establishment, and it doesn't have to be expensive. One meaningful phrase that I've got in our food safety management system is actually, each employee has a role to play. This is a fundamental requirement that is often forgotten. The systems element is not just about documentation, it's also a people system. The people who use it, own it, they maintain it, they keep it current. Dedication. I believe if staff see dedication from the management, and they understand their roles and responsibilities, they're more likely to embrace them.